Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to do another video on another movie that ruined my life. Like literally, not necessarily the movie, but there was one very specific scene in a movie that literally nobody knows about. I've never met a single person who's seen this movie, and because of that, it's kind of like I've never told anyone. It's one of those things that I've just never talked to anybody about. Basically, I came across this movie because way back in the early 2000s, when I was like probably 12, 13, I remember my uncle getting me this box set of like DVD. It was like 10 horror DVDs, and they were all like low budget shit movies that nobody's ever heard of. And it was one of them. And one of the movies was called Jigsaw, and this came out in 2002. And it was a low budget indie movie it was about a group of college kids that were like, they were assigned this project where they were each like handed a piece of a mannequin. So like one of them was handed an arm, the other one was handed the torso, the other one was handed the head, and they all had to take this home. It was like a liberal arts class or something. They all had to take it home and modify it in a way that was like personal to them, that had a story behind why they've decorated it that way. So it would tell a story, and then they were going to bring it back together when they've all completed their project, and then put the mannequin back together, kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. Like they were all going to take a piece and then put it back together. And so that's why the movie's named Jigsaw. It wasn't a bad movie. It had potential, but obviously the budget wasn't there. The acting wasn't too great. It was just your stereotypical like low budget shit movie. But it had potential. Like the story was actually pretty good. And they all come to a bar one night with the mannequin pieces, put it together, and then they order a drink, and they tell that like everybody has to have the same drink as what they've ordered. They've got to have a story behind it and why, and then they tell why they decorated the mannequin piece the way they did. There was one very specific scene that stands out to me, and it was very fucking like awful. Yeah, it was fucking horrible. I remember it very well. And it was the story of Tawny and Kimmy. Tawny was one of the characters in this movie. I guess she's kind of given like mean, popular girl vibes. That's the kind of vibe she's giving. And she decorates her part. When it comes to like her turn, they're sitting around the table. It comes to her turn to tell the story of what her piece of the mannequin means to her, and she got one of the arms. She decorated it by like attaching like a shotgun to it, so it looked like a shotgun.
Sweet holy shit.
And they were all having a good time up until this point. Like they were all like, it was a country bar, and like there was country music playing, and people are drunk and having fun. Up until that point, one of the things that stands out to me the most was how the music suddenly changed. But the way her like character changed and the music changed, or like not her character changed, but like her mood suddenly changes. She's looking down, and they've all been served this like red drink. I can't remember what it was. She tells what it was at the end of her story, but they're like more talking about the mannequin piece that she's chose, the shotgun. And suddenly the music changes from like, it goes from like this country music, and then suddenly it shows her like kind of looking down at the drink, and you can see she's kind of going into her thoughts and like her memories. And it starts to like play this like slow motion black and white scene where it's like a flashback of her childhood, and the music changes to this weird like haunting siren singing type of like Titanic type music, but like it felt so much worse. And she starts to tell the story of how she was SA'd by her dad when she was little, or I guess we're not on TikTok, so I can just say it. She was raped by her dad.
Starting from like when I was 12, he made me do things with him at night. You know, bad things.
And she had a little sister who was Kimmy.
Kimmy was my little sister.
And she thought that if she just kept doing it, then he would leave her little sister alone, but he didn't, and then he started to like rape her as well.
I thought, you know, if I did these things for him, that he'd leave her alone. But he didn't.
the story gets like real fucking deep real fast. Like, it's so fucking sad. And it was one of those scenes that never really kind of left me. Even just to talk about it's fucking horrible. Like, it's making me sad thinking about it. They decide to kill themselves to like get away from him, basically.
So, over time, we just decided that we should be dead. It was Kimmy who thought of it.
And they go into the attic and they find the shotgun.
So Kimmy went into the attic and got this gun.
And they each decide to like write their names or paint their names with nail polish on a shotgun shell.
She took 2 shells and painted our names on them in nail polish. One for me, and one for her.
Her younger sister, Kimmy, decides to go. She wants to go first.
She said she wanted to go first because she didn't want me to leave her behind.
Obviously, being kids, they didn't realize how fucking messy and awful this was going to be. A shotgun shot to the head. Kimmy goes first, and Tawny sees it happen. And she chickens out. She can't do it. After she sees what happens to her little sister with the shotgun, she can't do it. She can't bring herself to do it. After they promised to both do this together, they made this like promise, this pact that they were going to kill themselves together. She couldn't do it.
We made a deal, and we promised each other. But after she did it, I mean, what it did to her, I couldn't do it.
And she chickened out, and she feels guilt because of that, and she's like lived her whole life. Now she's a grown-up, and she's telling the story, and she says like she feels guilty because she let her little sister die alone.
I broke my promise. I let her die all alone.
And she still carried around the shotgun shell with her name on it. She still carried it around as a reminder of the broken promise to her little sister. It's one of the most fucked up stories, and like the acting, I don't even know who this actress was. Like I said, the acting in the movie sucked. It was fucking awful. But the way she's telling that story and she's narrating it, and it's kind of going from the flashback, black and white flashbacks, to her sitting at this bar telling it, and she's crying, and it's like she's really fucking crying. I don't know whether that was acting, but it was convincing. Like, I mean, even just talking about it, it's getting me a little choked up because it was fucking horrible. I remember being really fucking sad. And so maybe she really connected with the character, and she was able to, not necessarily like she intended to actually cry, but she just started crying from telling it, I guess. It was fucking horrible. One of the worst stories I've heard in a movie. And the music and the black and white flashbacks, and it just made it so much worse. But spoiler alert, later on in the movie, this mannequin comes alive and starts killing people one by one, the ones that put it together. I think the plot, like the, what do they call it? The little saying that movies have, I think it was like, put him together, he'll tear you apart, something stupid like that. And he goes after them one by one and kills them all. And when Tawny dies, and it's kind of sad because like they go outside the bar and they have a campfire later on that night. When the bar closes, they're still sitting there with a campfire, and they decide to burn it so in a way it was for them to kind of like have this story of something that happened to them in their past, and they were going to burn it, and it was going to be a way for them to like get closure on whatever happened to them, kind of thing. And while she's sitting there, she leaves the shotgun shell on like the bench or whatever she's sitting on. And this thing comes alive, and you just see it, like, it implies, you don't actually see the mannequin take the shotgun shell. It implies that it's like coming to get it. Then later on you see her alone, and she's walking around in the woods, and she's looking for someone, and she turns around, and the mannequin is right behind her, and he just goes like this, right in the head with the shotgun. And so like even long after her sister died by the gunshot, and Tawny was supposed to die with her that day when they were kids, and she never did. She broke the promise and lived with the guilt all the way up until now as she's an adult. But she does end up dying at the barrel of the shotgun, which it just breaks my fucking heart. The whole story was so sad. That shell that she was carrying around all of her life, it was supposed to have been the thing that killed her when she was a kid, and it ended up killing her as an adult. And I don't know, that just kind of, it makes it so much more sad that she still ended up dying by the gun, the exact gun that killed her little sister too. I know it's fictional, but it's so fucking sad. That's like one of the saddest scenes I've ever seen in a movie that nobody knows. Nobody's ever remembered it. I saw it when I was a kid, and I remember being really upset. It was, and like now that I'm an adult and I understand that kind of thing more, it's even more upsetting. It's very fucking sad. It knocks me sick to my fucking stomach. But yeah, that's one of those movie scenes. That's like the Jaws, the revenge scene I was telling you guys about in the previous video. That's like another one of these, but a completely different way. It didn't traumatize me like the Jaws scene did. This one just kind of stayed with me. I don't really remember much else about that movie, but I just remember that scene very well. Kids should never be in a position where they decide to take their own life to get away from something, especially their own father, to think that they thought that was the best way out. Making a promise together, even writing their names in nail polish. The music in the background as she's narrating it, it was just, the whole thing was fucking dark. It felt dark to watch. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Now I'm kind of depressed just thinking about it. But yeah, that was definitely one of the worst scenes that I've ever seen, and it's in a movie that nobody knows about. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Sorry if I just bummed you guys out, but yeah, that's what this is all about. This is like a therapy session. Now I've actually got it off of my chest. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know in the comment section also, has there ever been like a movie scene that's like really upset you that nobody knows about? Not like Titanic or, you know, any of the obvious ones, but like anything that's really upset you and you've just never told anybody. Let me know in the comment section. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out and chase your dreams.